Today's video is really short. It's just a recap of the beginning of 8.1 that we did yesterday and two tiny new little things. If you look at this picture of the parabola, there's a lot of things that you can tell me. Recapping yesterday's lesson, we'll list all that we know and then we'll add one more thing. I know that parabola opens up, so A must be positive. If I were to look at the equation, I would know that A was positive. The second thing I know is that the vertex is a -3, 2. That's the lowest point on the parabola. It's the point where the curve turns. And since it's the lowest point, you know that it's a minimum. Next, the domain is all real numbers. It can go anywhere along the x-axis in either direction. But the range is y is greater than or equal to 2. Needed to put that equal sign in there. But there's one more thing that we also know, and that's the line of symmetry. A line of symmetry is a line that if you were to fold the two pieces of the parabola over that line, they would lie right on top of each other. Now, you've done a lot with transformations before, so you know what a reflection is. And in this case, we're talking about the line of symmetry. And that's the line that, notice it, goes straight through the vertex. So in this case, the line of symmetry is x is equal to a -3. What do you notice? X equals -3, and the x coordinate is a -3. So you should be able to tell what the vertex is, and then say what the line of symmetry is right after that. Your turn. Take a look at this graph. First, second, tell me about the vertex. Third, the domain is and the range is. Make sure for the range that you're using mathematical symbols. And the equation for the line of symmetry is, remember, the line of symmetry is based on one of the coordinates from the vertex. This next problem we're going to look at is just giving you an equation. Now you can tell that this equation is a quadratic because it's in the form of y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Just looking at that equation, you can tell that this parabola is going to open downward. And I know that because the a is a -1. So it means it's going downward. That also means that the vertex is going to be the maximum, because if it's opening downward, you have a highest point, and the vertex is the highest point. But did you know that you could also tell what the y-intercept is? Go back to your linear days. Think about how we found out what the y-intercept would be back then. Remember, we used the cover-up method and we just said if x is equal to 0, then y equals. Well, the same thing happens in a quadratic. If you put 0 in for x, what will y have to be? That's the y-intercept. X is 0, y in this case is 3. The y-intercept is 3. And you know that because y equals 3 after you substitute in zeros. Now, I'm not sure if this graph is correct, but I do know that the a is negative and it is opening downward, so that's one thing. And the second thing that I know is that it crosses the y-axis at a +3, 0, 3. So I know two parts of this graph are correct. Your turn. Take a look at this particular parabola. How does it open? So what is the A? The vertex is, and it's a maximum or a minimum. the domain is, and the range is. The equation for the line of symmetry is, and the y-intercept is, so that would be which letter in the equation? Answer the questions and move on to the quizzes for your practice.